Hey everybody, what's going on? Eric here with Switch Adapted Toys, and today I'm going to be showing you how to adapt the Fisher-Price Rockin' Record Player. This is a new toy. I actually haven't adapted before, but it looks pretty neat. There's some different records that you can put on here and it will play different music. And basically what we're going to be doing is adapting the little swing arm here. So as long as we can kind of get into it and have access to that, I think it should be a pretty easy to adapt. So, but we'll figure that out as we go along. If you like this video, if you find it helpful, make sure you hit the like button and hit subscribe. That way you stay up to date on all our latest videos, and it really does help us out in a huge way. So thank you in advance for doing that. And we are going to be giving this toy away, so stick around to the end of the video where I'll share with you the information of what you need to do to enter into the drawing to win this toy, and we'll ship it off to you so that your kiddo can enjoy it. If this is your first video, if you just stumbled across our channel, Switch Adapted Toys is a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and our mission is to make play possible for kiddos of all abilities. We do that by creating these how-to videos, along with other resources like how to 3D print your own Switch buttons, basically everything that you need to Switch Adapted Toy. So if you want to find out more information about that, you can visit our website at www.switchtoys.org. So let's just go ahead and get started. I'm gonna get this thing unboxed and then we'll get to adapting it. All right, so we're gonna start by turning the toy upside down and removing all the screws on the back of the toy. All right, so with all those screws removed, we should be able to remove the bottom of the toy, and just be careful because the battery compartment, there'll still be wires hooked up to it, so don't yank it too hard. All right, so I got this thing open, and I do want to share some things with you before you get too far down this rabbit hole of adapting this toy. While I do think it's going to be pretty easy to adapt, it might not be ideal for all kiddos. And I'll explain why. How the mechanism works here. The arm is attached to this arm here, and this makes contact with different switches. So this is basically like the off, and then this is like track 1 and this is track 2. So we can adapt these switches so that the button can activate them instead of this arm. The problem is that it's probably going to be a situation where you have to hold the button down in order to keep playing the song, which might not be ideal for all kiddos. There are some devices out there that can turn like a switch into like a latch switch, so more like an on-off button. Normal switches like our 3D printed switch, basically whenever you press the button it completes the circuit, and whenever you let go it stops completing the circuit. But what you want here is to press the button once and then it continued to complete the circuit until you press the button again to disengage. So not all switches are going to be able to work well with this unless your child can maintain pressure on the switch, which, you know, for therapy or something like that, that might be what you're working on. But there are other devices out there. One specifically I can think of is called the Tiny Switchy, and there are also some like open source ones as well that basically turn a normal switch into a latch switch. So you can find those online or on Etsy, the Tiny Switchy, or you can find, I believe there's like open source ones on Makers Making Change. So that's nothing that we've developed. That's just things that I found over the courses of us doing this, and then people wanting like a latch style switch. So if you want this to play as like you press the button once to turn it on and you press the button again to turn it off, you will need some other sort of device or a special switch in order to make this work. But I'll show you what we need to do in order to adapt it, and then you can decide what you want, how you want it to operate with the button itself. So what we need to do now is remove the 2 screws that hold this circuit board down. All right, so with those screws removed, we should be able to flip this circuit board over, and you can see the contacts that these switches are soldered to the circuit board. All right, so I've been messing around with this for some time, trying to figure out how everything works, and just kind of what our best course of action is. And I explained a little bit about the latch switches, but I kind of want to go over what each of these buttons do in a little more detail. This switch here is what actually turns the motor off, so the turntable off. So whenever this button is pressed, it'll turn it off. and whenever it's released, it turns it on. These are kind of the opposite way. Whenever these are pressed, it starts the music for whatever record is on top for the track 1 and track 2. So we can adapt these pretty easily by either soldering to these 2 points here, these 2 points here, or if you prefer, you could solder to this point and this point, or this point and that point. These will basically do the same thing. Like this one and this one will do the same thing as this one and that one. So what we're not going to be doing is basically adapting to turn off the turntable. I just don't see a huge utility in that. I mean, the turntable can constantly run. You will still be able to operate the toy normally if we do it this way, but it's going to be a little wonky with the switches, but it's going to be kind of the best case scenario. So we're going to go ahead and adapt these 2 switches so that we basically have access to turn on track 1 and track 2. What's nice about these is when they are engaged, it'll turn the turntable on whenever a song is played. It just won't turn it off. But it kind of is what it is. It's the best we can do, so let's go ahead and do it. So the next thing we need to do is drill some holes in the side of the toy so that we can get our headphone jack wires into the toy. I'm going to do that basically on this bottom plate right above this little handle here. I think I can drill right into that, and that'll give me enough space to fish my wires through and still allow it to close up. So let's just go ahead and do that. All right, so I've got a drill bit that's the same diameter of the headphone jacks I'm going to be using. And I'm just going to drill into this bottom plate, and I'll need two holes for 2 headphone jacks. So a real quick note about our headphone jacks. We like to use mono headphone jacks. It makes everything so much easier. They're a little bit harder to find. I'll put a link in the description to some on Amazon. Generally they come, you can buy them like in a 10-pack, and they're reasonably priced, but they are a little bit harder to find than stereo headphone jacks. You can use a stereo headphone jack, but I really recommend you find some monos because it just makes everything so much easier. So now I'm going to fish my headphone jacks through the holes that I drilled. All right, and now we can get ready to solder. So one thing that I like to do before I solder my headphone jack wires to the circuit board is I like to get a bit of solder on the wires themselves. It just makes things so much easier when I go to solder it to the board. So I'm just going to basically get kind of a glob of solder on there. Soldering is really not as hard as it looks. I am not an expert in this. I'm not trained. I'm not an electrician, but it's not hard. You're basically melting a little bit of metal onto the wires, and then we're going to basically melt it again once we get it onto the circuit board. So don't let this part scare you. You can totally do it. It's really not that difficult. And now I'm going to do the same thing for my other wires. All right, so I'm going to solder my headphone jack wires to the switches themselves. If you wanted to solder to these, you definitely could do that. But what you would want to do first is you would want to combine 2 of your headphone jack wires, probably before we got solder on them, and kind of just twist them together and then put some solder on them. And then that combined wire will go on this point here. And then the other wires for the headphone jacks will go to the next 2 points. But I'm just going to solder to the switches themselves. There's not really a wrong way of doing it there, but that's just what I'm going to do. All right, so now I'm basically going to just heat up the solder that I have on the wires and get them to connect to these points on the circuit board. Just like that. Kind of the important thing here is that you don't want any solder crossing over from one point to the next. All right, you can give your wires just a little bit of a tug just to make sure that they're connected. Oh. And now I'm going to do the other switch. And I'm going to give my wires just a little tug just to make sure that they're attached well. And that should be it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to plug in a button and just make sure that it works before we go ahead and put it all back together. So I've got one of our 3D printed switch buttons. I'll have files on in the description where you can get the files to 3D print your own. We also sell these on our Etsy shop, so if that's something that you're interested in picking up, I'll put a link in the description for that as well. They're actually really good switches, and you can create your own for a fraction of the cost of what it costs to buy them from the name brand places. So let's go ahead and give our button a press and just make sure that it works. I'm going to make sure my toy is turned on. And here we go. There we are. That one's working just fine. It won't play any music until you actually put a record on it. And since I'm holding it upside down, that isn't really an option. And now I've got it plugged into my other switch, and let's give that one a test. There we go. All right, so now that we know that everything works, I just flip the circuit board back around, and I'm just going to screw in those 2 screws. All right, so now we need to prevent a child from accidentally like yanking this cord and disconnecting our connections. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a zip tie around the wire on the inside of the toy that will act like a barrier, so that when the child pulls on the cord, that zip tie will engage with the side of the toy instead of engaging with our connections. And I find the smaller the zip tie, the better. It just kind of grips the wire a little bit better. All right, and I'm just going to snip off the extra zip tie. And then what I like to do for a little extra security is I like to use some CA glue or super glue, and I'll just kind of dab it around that zip tie. That just kind of helps lock everything into place. And then if you have some, you can use some activator spray, and that will basically instantly dry that super glue. All right, and now we can pull out the remaining slack and put the 2 halves of the toy back together. All right, so let's give our button a press and just make sure that it still works. Now remember that we're gonna have to press and hold in order for it to play the music. There we go. Now let's test the other button. Now I have found something that if I press the button long enough for the music to start, I can let go of the button and it will continue to play for a little while. So that's nice. I'll show you that here.
Down by the bay, where the watermelons grow, back to my home, I dare not go, for if I do, my mother will say, hey, hey.
So there you go. It plays for a few seconds and then the wheel will stop. So that works. Or like I said, you could get a tiny switchy or some other latch switch device and then it will continually play. Or the other option is to hold the button down. So that's basically it. I hope you liked this video. If you did, hit the like button and hit subscribe to stay up to date on all our latest videos. Like I said before, Switch Adapted Toys is a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and our mission is to make play possible for kids of all abilities. So if you want to find out more about our organization and our mission, you can do so on our website at www.switchtoys.org. And if you've got a group, an organization, and you want to adapt toys kind of on a bigger scale for kids in your community, you could look into forming what we call a Switch chapter, where we kind of help guide you through that process. And that allows you to serve the kiddos in your community in that way. So if that's something that you're interested in, I encourage you to check out the website. We'd love to help you out. We do have an Etsy shop where we sell some pre-adapted toys that are ready to play with. So we know that this isn't for everybody, and some people just need access to inexpensive toys. So all the proceeds there help support what we're doing, and I'll put a link to our Etsy shop below. Feel free to check that out. I'll adapt a toy, send it out to you. It'll be ready to play with, and it helps support what we're doing here. So check that out. Lastly, if you'd like to enter our drawing to win this toy, we'll be picking a winner on February 1st, 2025. All you got to do is be a subscriber, so make sure you hit the subscribe button, like this video, and leave a comment. And if you've done those three things, you'll be entered into our drawing. We'll pick a winner February 1st, and we'll reach out to you to verify your identity and get your address so that we can ship these things off to you. It'll be free of charge for you. We'll cover all the shipping costs. YouTube has nothing to do with this contest. This is just something that we're doing. We figure if we're adapting these toys, we might as well be getting them into somebody's hands that need them. So that's basically it. Thanks for checking out this video. My name's Eric with Switch Adapted Toys, and we'll see you next time.
Switched Adapted Toys, making play possible.
Down by the bay, where the watermelons grow, back to my home, I dare not go.